Miss Tanya, I guess we'll let you go first.
Just trying to get everything, I'm trying to pull up my calendar now. Just trying to get everything going for next school year. Janitors are working really hard, as usual, getting the floors and everything fixed for, yep, kids, you come back. But we're getting all that stuff done. This weekend, Dr. Terry Keaton has the folks coming in for the free food drive. They'll be here on Saturday at Berkshire Elementary School. So we'll get the word out on that so that everybody will know where to come in at. Just trying to get some things set up, whether it's going to be in our old gym or in the cafeteria part. So as soon as we get some things worked out there, we'll let everyone know that. Again, this month of June, we are going to be going to a standards training on the new social studies, science, and the math standards at Anderson County. So those are going to be at the third week of June. Next week will be our principals retreat workshop for 3 days at the Technology Center. So just gearing up for that and getting to hear Mr. Beatty and Mr. Chuck Cagle whenever he comes. So getting some of those questions answered and just preparing for the upcoming school year. Just a lot of things going on, getting kids' schedules in there. So folks, just want to yell out to you all, enrollment forms, if you need one of those, come by school and pick them up. We have pre-K openings as well. So just come by school and pick those up, and you can drop them off anytime you need to. But again, just getting everything, trying to get everything situated for next school year. So I don't have anything unless you have any questions or anything.
Okay, thank you. Miss Lisa.
Ditto on the trainings and everything. Our programs are going well right now. We have a summer school program with Read to Be Ready, and also our special needs program is going on. That ends tomorrow. It's our last day for that one, but the Read to Be Ready is going on till the 20th. And so just come on over anytime. I got to read with those guys the other day, and it was a lot of fun. So anybody that wants to volunteer, come on out and read with them. We're having a great time.
I'm coming 17th.
Awesome.
I got contacted today.
Good, good. Welcome. We'd love to have you out. Anybody else that wants to come on out, come on out. We're in the process of cleaning, getting training done, and preparing for next year as well. So come on over and help us out with anything you want to do. We'll put a broom in that hand. We'll do whatever you want to do. Come on in. Teresa Honeycutt with the UT Extension Office has contacted me, and they have been awarded a grant that's similar to the FFVP that we do during the school year that gives the kids fresh fruits and vegetables. And they have received that grant to partner with us, and they want to be coming on June the 20th at 11:30. And that will be where they prep the food right there on site and present it to the parents and students who are there. And after they do that, the first 30 that come in will receive a voucher. Those 30 at the end of the program will actually get to take a bag full of food home with them. So they were wanting permission to partner and come to our school to do that, if it's okay for them to come. And I've spoken with Mr. Hall about that, and he said it was okay and contact them back. So she's supposed to come on that day, if it's okay with everybody for her to come. We would like to do that. So just wanted to make y'all aware that we would probably partner with them. Is that good? All right. Okay, everybody good? Okay, all right, thank you. We have now leveled, staked out our new playground. So we're so excited. We're waiting for phase 2, and I know we got some more things we're going to do with that later on tonight. So I'm so excited to be able to do that. We got pictures, they're on my phone. I'll share with you all if anybody wants to see that. I'm excited. I will be happy to show you what all's going on. I posted some on Facebook, so you can tell I'm kind of rooming over with that. The next announcements I have is also dealing with that. We had 2 community donations that happened after school and school let out. One of them was from a former student, Mackenzie Adkins. She did a Mary Kay fundraiser, and that goes to the playground. The second one is from another parent who helped win a grant for the playground, and that one will provide a wheelchair accessible basketball goal. And it goes from 5 to 10 feet. And it will let down so that students in wheelchairs will be able to play at the basketball goal. And it will go up to 10 feet to match the other basketball goal that we got this year with the Coordinated School Health Grant. So we'll be able to have all kinds of stuff going on at the basketballs, goals and everything. So we're so excited about that and just thrilled, tickled to death. Again, we'd like to express appreciation. This is a long one, I'm sorry, but I want to do this and thank everybody. We want to say a special thank you to our school family for all the hard work that they put in. That's the parents, the students, our faculty and staff, our board. Thank you for your support and being there for us. We really appreciate you. Our donors, everyone that's given in any way, we appreciate them. From the first 10 cents that a kid brought in from their piggy bank, all the way up to the thousands we've received. We appreciate all of you. We have a special thank you for Sharon Wilson helping draft, give, and go out and help us get things. To Paul Phillips, John Beatty, Linda Sharp, you guys on the ground floor helping us get those contacts and things that we need. Mr. Hall for your direction. Work crews, Dennis Jeffers, Town of Huntsville. Dick Sexton, David Brewster and their companies for helping us. Kelvin King and the road department. And Tammy at Miracle Recreation, because without her helping us with some of these pricings and things, we wouldn't be able to afford what's getting ready to go in over there, and we're just thankful. So, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Donna?
Everything's the same. We're just getting ready for the upcoming school year and, of course, attending meetings and things like that. The only thing I do want the parents to know, we do have a summer school going on at the middle school. Miss Beth is going to be in the math training this Friday that I'm going to be in. I'm sure several others will be here at the central office. So we will not have summer school on Friday. She'll pick that back up, finish it up on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So other than that, everything's pretty much the same.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cash?
Same as the others, I guess, as it goes down the line, there's less and less to say. We're just, we're eyeing finishing up, I guess I'm the slacker, I'm trying to finish up some paperwork for finish up the year this past year, but we're also kind of, I'm kind of take a breath to get ready for next year as well. Janitors are working hard with the rooms, trying to get, like as Tony said, getting schedules made out, and just for some reason we've only been out 2 weeks, and I'm already getting excited about the new school year. So, but just getting everything ready for next year, and you know, just trying to finish up this past year. We got a training Thursday, and we'll follow up with the Elgin Foundation. Looking forward to that. And then Keith's got some good PDs lined up here at the central office this summer, so looking forward to some of those. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Stanley?
We have the 4 ASP counselors came in over the weekend. They're very nice young ladies. We're glad to have them. They'll have the first group of people in this coming weekend. We're expecting about 50 this first round, and then it will increase after that. And they are taking applications, particularly in the Winfield area, especially for those in needing handicapped services, to if they need rails or walkways and things like that. If anyone has an application, then you know, submit it, and they go through those and pick the ones that they can handle. We're excited about having them. You have a yearbook up there. When you look through that, you'll see that our yearbooks this year are a little bit more whimsical than they normally are. Some of the pictures in there are a little bit funny, but we do have the board in there, and that one's not funny, so you know, it's a really good picture, you guys. Like Mr. Cash said, I'm kind of in the middle of tying up some of last year's stuff, and also starting on the new year, looking at scheduling and that sort of thing. So, like him, we're excited about the new year too, getting ready to begin that. I also want to say a thank you to Mr. Blakely and the board, Mr. Hall, Platon Electric. We do have the new LED lights up in the parking lot, and they look really, really nice. So now we're looking forward next month, hopefully, to getting our field lights in. That's all I have. I don't know if you're waiting for something else.
Thank you. I do want to say thank you to the board for coming to our graduation. Always appreciate you all for being there and being a part of that ceremony. I know it's a long morning and it gets crowded and hard to get out of that parking lot, but we appreciate you being there. We did walk a large number of students across the stage this year. We had a few more that didn't participate in the graduation ceremonies this year for one reason or another. But this has been the largest graduating class that we've had since I've been the principal there. We haven't broken 200 quite yet, but we're really close. This group that's coming up next year just might do it. They're a large group. And in talking about numbers, I say that to tell you that we only have one more small group, and that's the group that will be juniors next year. So when I came in as principal, we generally had one large group and 3 small groups, and those would kind of vary where they placed, but you would, at any given time, you would have one large group and 3 small groups. That has now flipped, and you have 3 large groups and 1 small group. So our numbers are holding steady. It looks like we're going to be at that same point that we were going into next year. So while that is wonderful, it does create some challenges for us as far as spacing and making sure that so those teachers don't get overloaded in some places, and just making sure that everything gets evened out there. So again, our numbers are looking to where they're going to hold steady for next year. We've had 2 years of increases. I don't know if we'll have an increase this year, but we will hold steady at where we are. So that's always a great thing. End of the year, finished all of those things up. EOCs came back as predicted by the State Department. We were a little bit nervous about that, but those came in. We were able to get those calculated on grade cards by the end of the year to get those finished out. One thing we did send home with parents this year, we still traditionally mail grade cards home twice a year. We have up until this point. We did send home a little notice with those grade cards at the end of this school year that will be the last time that we will mail grade cards home to the entire student body. All of the students and parents now have access to Power School online. We did a survey with our kids back in the spring asking them how many of them actually use that, and it was a really, it was about 80% of the students that are saying, oh yeah, we use it regularly. So the teachers can tell you, they start putting grades in, those kids start getting notifications, and so they keep up with it pretty closely, but it's quite a large expense to mail those twice a year when they have free access to that. So we want to really rely on that technology. We will still offer the availability for parents that don't have that access to contact us in the guidance department. We will still mail them a grade card, but we will do that on a notification case-by-case basis. And that will save us probably about $1,000 a year in just mailing those grade cards. So we went ahead to give them notice for that at the beginning of this, or at the end of this school year. We'll again go through some notification process with that at the beginning of the school year next year to make sure that everybody is set up and ready to log on. We know that all the kids are set up and are able to log on because they have to do that in order to pre-register for their classes, which they all did this year. So we know that they all have access, and we know that they all know how to get on there. But again, we'll do some more notification, but that is just one thing that I do want to make you all aware and the public aware of as well. We have jumped in and started already with that summer cleaning process. It literally takes every day of the summer to get that entire building cleaned and flipped over and ready for the next year. However, if you came by Scott High, you probably would know that school is out because between basketball camps, cheer camps, soccer conditioning, football weightlifting, and summer school, and as well as the museum being open, we've had days where there are upwards of 200, 300, 400 people that are still at school during the day. So we're trying to maneuver all of those things going on with that cleaning as well to get that building turned over. But lots of things still going on at school. The only time that you will not have all of those people there, summer school ends on June the 14th. But short of that will be that 2-week dead period, the last week of June, first week of July. We generally try to shut down that first week of July to give maintenance some vacation time as well. But short of that, there will be plenty of people there in the building. And again, remember the museum is open for those summer hours. We encourage people to come out and take part of all those things that they have to offer. Again, do want to thank the board and Mr. Hall for making summer school possible for us again this year. That is a huge part of our program. It's something that that's desperately needed by our students, and it helps us to keep kids on track, give them some additional opportunities to be successful. So again, that started the Tuesday after school was over and will run until June the 14th. And we've got about a 75% rate right now. About 75% of the students who were signed up to attend summer school have been attending summer school. So we're very excited about that, hoping that we get those other 25% of the kids in. So to parents, if they got a call that their child was supposed to attend summer school and they haven't made it there yet, it's okay. Go ahead and come in. It's from 8 to 2, Monday through Friday. So go ahead and get out there and let's get that finished. We do have a couple of positions to fill at the high school, but not many, which makes for a nice summer as far as that you can go ahead and start prepping for the upcoming school year sooner. So we're anxious to get that taken care of and get that started. The only thing that we do have for the agenda, and I guess I'll do on myself and Ms. Parker on behalf of the MOU committee or collaborative conferencing committee, I'll say it right, I'll use the right words. We would like to present the board with this next memorandum of understanding. We have been through that entire process. We've met several times. We did go through that entire document. It is renewed every 3 years. The last time we renewed that, if you'll remember, that was the first time that we transitioned from that old contract negotiation model to this collaborative conferencing model. So this time when we sit down to do it, it was a much easier process because we were able to go in and review things in whole units rather than literally word by word. So it was a much easier process, but there were some things in there. The bulk of the document stayed the same. There were a few changes, and I believe Ms. Shauna has created you all maybe a face sheet that has highlighted those changes.
You should have that in the package too.
In there, if you'll take a look at those, it should highlight those changes so that you're not having to go through and read that entire document. But please take a look at that and take the time. We'll kind of hang out for a little bit if you have any questions. We'll be more than glad to answer those questions for you as we come up on the next board meeting. If you have questions, if you'd like to email those, you can certainly email those to myself, Ms. Parker, and we can send those out to the entire MOU group or that collaborative conferencing group and get you some answers to those. We have sat down with Miss Stevens, Miss Amanda Stevens. We did sit down on some of the adjustments, anything that involved numbers or money. We sat down and went through that with her as well, and so that she was able to look at that and give her approval on that as far as on the budget side. Because we wanted to make sure that we brought you something that was able to work in the budget. And so she did, she has already seen this and has already looked at those numbers there. But of course, if you have questions for her, she'll be prepared to answer those as well. But guys, I just have to say, I know a lot of you all have, maybe some of y'all who've been teachers have been a part of those things in the past. The collaborative conferencing model, it's really nice, and it's really a good opportunity. We have a great group that worked on this, from administrators to teachers. We all sat down, and we all didn't agree all the time, but we were able to sit and talk about that. And you know, you get that many people in a room, somebody's going to disagree somewhere, but we were able to do that and talk about it and reach consensus, which is always nice. So just know that that document is being presented to you with from the full approval of that committee, both on the administrative side and on the teacher side as well. And just, I have to give personal kudos to all the people that served on that group. It's a neat process to go through. To sit down and talk about some of those things and get different people's opinions and point of view on those things. But the people that represent our teachers and as administrators, we represent the board. I just want you all to know that that's done with the most high quality professionalism. It is a really great group, and they really have the best interest of not just the teachers, but the students. When they sit down and we talk about these things, we talk about them, and we're always talking about how things affect students in the classroom. And just know that, again, on the teacher side, on the administrator side, we want to make sure that as the board that we're presenting something that is possible, especially financially. And I have to say, then with the teacher group, they're very respectful of that and agree as well. So it's just a wonderful group that has worked together, and I appreciate them and their willingness to be a part of that. So please take a look at that. And again, if you have questions about that, anything that you would like answered before that comes up at the board meeting, please reach out to us, whether that's tonight or over the next week or so. Please reach out and let us know that. We'd be more than glad to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bond, did you have anything?
Really, we've started our summer work process. We've got, I think we're rebuilding from scratch 2 or 3 computer labs. I know 2 for certain. We've stripped the rooms completely out, letting the cleaning crews go in and wax the floors. So the guys are going to go back and start doing that process of rebuilding them. We've replaced another 2 just by swapping out new computers and stuff. So the guys are staying pretty busy with that. We've had a lot of requests for room changes this year. So, and sometimes that happens. The problem with that is we have to wait until your summer work wraps up. So when it comes about 2 weeks before school starts, we'll be really hitting that just every day, all day. We're getting ready for the workshop next week, and just trying to get ready for the next year, figure out where we're going to go from here.
Okay,
That's
thank
about
you.
it. Thank you.
Ms. Debbie?
We've been busy in our special ed program. We had our child find there at the end of May. We had several children that came out. We did our CRT training May the 21st. We had a total of 22 teachers along with assistants that attended that restraint training that we have to have necessary in case we have a student that has a meltdown. So we had a good turnout on that. Right now we're in the middle of our summer school. We did start our program for our children that we wanted to attend in those CDC classes. We started May the 28th, and that goes to June the 10th. We have an in-service Monday coming up, June the 10th. We are going to be having some of our special ed teachers that will be presenting in service for regular ed teachers on topics that maybe regular ed teachers found of interest that they wanted us to present. So we've got that coming up. On June the 25th, we have Bill Wilson that will be coming. He is a retired special ed lawyer. He came last year, and he just gives a lot of good information about the rules and the regs as far as what regular ed and special ed teachers can do and what things should not be done. So if you all get an opportunity to come out to one of those in-services, we'd be glad to have you. Up in your packet, I've got my contracts that and that's for the agenda, the contracts that will need to be approved for the 2019-20 school year. We have the Goodwill contract for those students at the high school that might qualify to attend that program. Dara Klein, she provides the ABA and behavior services to our children in special ed when we need her, and she is so beneficial as far as helping us for those students. Of course, we ask the school psychologist a lot of times to do the behavior plan, but if that's not working, then we bring her in and she helps us with that. You've got the contract also for Grace Rehab and for Deborah Curley. They provide our related services for OT, PT, and speech. And when the bids were taken, those were the only 2 companies that did place a bid. The prices have not changed from last year to this year. So all of those are the same. And then Of course, I know that at your last called, I guess, board meeting, special call board meeting, there was some questions. I think Mr. Hall said that some of you all had some questions about the special ed budget. There was a shortfall in our budget, so I sat down with Mr. Hall and with Miss Amanda, and we just talked about some different options that we could look at to cut the budget in order to balance that when it had to go into E-Plan. We had many, many discussions, and we did have to come to the conclusion of maybe cutting some positions, and that's something that I do not want to do. I am hoping that I have a good, at the end of the year, that we end up getting some more money, that we can go back and look at those positions. But we had different options that we looked at, didn't we, Mr. Hall? So do y'all have any questions about that? I'm hoping that maybe we get a good carryover like we did last year, and last year when we did get that carryover, we did add some of those new positions, knowing that, you know, if we didn't have the money, then that would be a possibility of cuts. But we never want to do cuts, and we're hoping, you know, that we can find ways to fill those positions, because we want all the best for our students. We want our children to be successful and do everything that we can. But do y'all have any questions about the contracts or the budget, anything?
All right, apparently not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hall.
Thank you. Items for the agenda, would like to approve the use of school facilities, which is a contract for the group for Huntsville Middle School. I'd also like to approve the Tennessee Risk Management Trust Intergovernmental Cooperative Agreement. Would like to approve the ALCRE agreement for collecting student data. Would also like to approve the 2019-20 pre-K grant. Want to accept the bid for the playground, which we have already given me approval to do that and move forward with that, so we'll do want to accept it on the next board meeting. And would also like to approve the following overnight trips. School board members, TSBA Annual Convention and Leadership Conference, November 14th through 17th in Nashville, Tennessee. You should also have a confirmation tonight. They told me to put one in there for you, for your rooms, stuff there in Nashville. Huntsville Elementary to the TVOS Exploration Summit, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, June 10th through the 11th. RTI, the Tennessee User Conference in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, June 3rd through the 4th. Family Resource Nurse Supervisor and the School Counselor to the Family Engagement Conference, June 10th through the 11th in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also the Title I Supervisor to the ESSA Conference, or the ESSA Conference in Franklin, Tennessee, August 13th through the 16th. We'd like to accept the Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant. And also I'd like to approve the Tennessee School Systems for Equity Membership dues for 2019 and 20. That is where we received the extra $309,000 that's given outside of the BEP, which goes for the bonuses for the teachers at Christmas time. We pay the dues, it's around $3,500. That will be paid for that. Also would like to approve the TOS dues. And would also got a call from Mr. Blake today. He'd like to ask to approve the CTE budget. I would also like to ask the finance director to bid the pizza products. We thought we were not going to have to bid for the pizza, but Ms. Paulette found out today that we will have to bid for the pizza products for the upcoming school year. We'd like to comment first on the memorandum of understanding. I thought your work was wonderful, what y'all done, what you presented to us. I think you come up with some really good, the changes that are there, to my personal opinion, are good for our teachers. It's a good contract. It's a good working relationship with this board, and it's solid. I can say that. Please, when you read it and you have questions, reach out to the SEA members. I know Ms. Parker is a member of that, along with Shauna Boshears, Teresa Boshears, Dr. Michelle Massengale still on there now, or?
No, I didn't bring my folder. You're going to make me forget somebody.
It's okay. You can reach out to the
Miss Hammock was
SBA
on
members.
there,
Ms. Hammock.
April Pendergrass.
Okay.
Like I said,
Cole
if you'll call Hunt, if you can send it to us, we've got a group mail. We can send it out to everybody.
And then, if you have questions, please ask.
We'll
Like I said,
stick around and
yeah,
that
they
way
are
y'all
really
can ask
good
questions.
as far as the change of what they've asked for in the contract. Want to congratulate everybody on the graduations. I thought they were fabulous ceremonies. all the way through. It's outstanding. The thing that impresses us the most is the kids, their part in the service and what they do, and the students. Just amazing how our students are in this county. And the lead of prayer, the bands, the singing, everything that goes through with the graduation process is really something. And we do it like no one else, guys. You can go to other people that come watch ours. They comment on how our kids behave, how our kids act, the parts the kids take. And that's something for us to take pride in. And that, congratulations to everyone in that process. Next week, June the 12th through the 14th, will be our principal retreat. Looking forward to that. I think we have a great agenda this time. I know Mr. Beatty's going to be a part with questions for that. I know Chuck Cagle. We have Joe T. Wood that is also coming. Joe T. does a great presentation with some ACT and some other stuff there, so looking forward to that. And also looking forward to the principal input that we get. It's a great 2.5 days. We're looking forward to those days that we have there. I want to commend Mr. Jordan Jeffers for the basketball camp that he just put on, that he held at Scott High School, Birchfield Elementary, and Huntsville Middle. We had 51 teams involved. He ran it through 3 days. I got to work 2 of those. And I watched as much basketball as I could at Birchfield with the girls, and I'm telling you what, it was fabulous. How it was ran, had the officials come in, did a great job with the camp, and got several comments from coaches that come through, said, when he tell them please call us back. This was a really good thing that he had. And I'm sure Ms. Donna thinks it was just as smooth at Huntsville Middle. I actually went out to Scott High School and watched a little bit there too. So like I said, it was a great, they had high school, middle school boys, middle school girls, 51 teams that participated in that event. So that was fabulous and a great job that they did by running the tournament. And that's it, the playground. Broke ground the other day, and it looks great. You get a chance to go by, just kind of remember what was there with the playground equipment. Now it's flat and it's got it staked off. Ms. Lisa, they did square it with your building, okay? So if it looks funny, it's squared with the building. So, but anyway, it's going to be great. I also was going to ask about moving one of the awnings, I guess, that they had down there. Maybe move about 5 feet. I thought I'd get with you, see what you thought with that. They'll still keep the water fountain in place with the covered little shed is right there. They wanted to move out about 5 feet one direction. So
They got the new plans back in, and we took those out to them. So they do have everything staked out, so you can come and look and make sure that's what it is.
Good. All right, awesome. Awesome. And you mentioned the donors. Our community came through. That's what you can say. Our community, this is a great community. Don't have a lot, but we have pride, and when we need things, this community always answers. And thank you, the board, for your contributions to this. This is a bit fabulous thing that goes in. And that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions for me.
I would just like to tell Miss Rector how nice the landscaping looked at the graduation.
Oh, thank you. I'll be with those flowers myself.
It looked really good.
I am proud of my rose bushes, especially.
Mr. Silcox, did you have anything? Miss Diane?
I too like to congratulate everybody on their graduations and everything, but you know, I do have a concern about Scott High, and I expressed this to you, Mr. Hall. I sat there in the guidance office and watched people come dressed to go to the graduation and leave because there wasn't standing room. So I just kind of feel like we need a new gym that will be large enough to hold our graduation.
What's the charge this yard?
And really, I'm serious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna turn it down. But we've talked about that. The only real way to alleviate what we have in the current structure that we have is to limit the number of people that students can bring and actually give them tickets, which I know is a thing in a lot of schools that they do. We have never ventured that way just because we just haven't. I know that that'll get its own kind of backlash there, but,
I had
Yeah.
suggestions like, well, have 2 graduations, and maybe we could get, you know,
Yeah.
and that's not.
it's not, we've got the live stream and we've got, you know, several of those,
We had thousands of people
watching there.
watch the live
Watching
stream.
this.
Yeah, and camera, you know, had the big screens out there, so that they could, and a lot of times what we'll do is try to get those people to, get in those areas where those screens are, and they just simply don't wanna go, which is fine, there's only so much managing we can do of that while we're actually doing the ceremony, but I mean, that, in the current structure they have, that would really be it, is we would be giving tickets and telling people that they only have a certain number of people that they can bring in. It's kind
If
of
you have a chance to watch it on the live stream or watch it on video,
It's crisp,
it
man.
is fabulous. You the man. That's all.
Well, if I hadn't seen
Yeah.
people leaving, I wouldn't have believed it if someone told me.
Yeah.
But I certainly did, and they were older. you
Yeah,
know,
sure,
people.
absolutely.
And,
Mhm.
And they're parking, they're parking.
We
out-
dream big.
Yeah.
They're parking
We have a
on
right to
Scott High
dream big
Drive
and-
2 hours before.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
try to fix the problems.
Yeah, you
And,
need-
Well, yeah, they park past the farmer's
Mhm.
market.
You wanna
way
get
past.
there, start getting a seat, and now it's 8
Oh.
o'clock in the morning.
And they're just jammed in there.
Yeah.
I mean, standing, just
I remember
jammed,
getting
and
there
it's
as
a great
principal, getting there
graduation.
before 8,
for
and
the
people
number.
beat me there, it was already, and they're getting seats, so.
Well, I saw one of the donors that had donated a lot of money for the playground. She was standing, there was no place for her to sit. And
Yeah.
It's really embarrassing that, you know, you give all this money, but there's no place for you to sit.
Well, and again, guys, I can alleviate that immediately, but you just have to be prepared for people to call and say, hey, I didn't get to go.
No,
but-
we're not,
We don't want you to do that.
Okay.
I'm really, I'm
Yeah.
serious. I think we need a gym.
Well,
But large enough.
we need 4 more classrooms before we need a gym. Let me throw that out at you, because I've got five teachers that float, and then I could get. But seriously, I mean,
If you
it
didn't tear down
is.
the old gym, you could put the classroom.
Yeah, I mean, now if you want to sit down and draw up a plan, we will sit down and draw up a plan.
Well,
I
as I
seriously
sat there and
yes.
watched, as I sat there and watched, I thought, okay, let's take, our gym that we have,
Sure,
take out the bleachers and make 4 classrooms.
sure.
And you put bleachers at one end and build us a new gym, you know.
We got a pricing for something kind of similar to that we looked at a couple years ago.
Like I said, that was adding 6 classrooms
Yeah,
and
it
new
was.
gymnasium, new parking, it was,
Mhm. Yeah,
that's what come in about 14
I mean,
million.
But we keep the gym floor.
Yeah.
yeah,
We keep
Oh,
the
yeah,
gym
we'll
floor,
keep-
just
we-
taking out the bleachers would give us
yeah,
4 classrooms at least, possibly.
maybe.
And you know, what we're talking about is gonna happen in, what, in 10 years?
Yeah, well,
But we need to,
We're-
we need to.
I was gonna say, we may, if we're talking 10 years, we need to dream a little bit bigger than that, because we got a 50-year-old building, and it's costing you $250,000 a year to keep a roof on it, so I'm throw that out there at
And
you.
the infrastructure underground is in bad
The
shape.
infrastructure underground is gonna be an issue, but, yeah, I see exactly where you're coming from and agree, and conversations like that have got to start now if we wanna see some movement on those in 10, 15 years, you're exactly right, Ms. Sharp.
Can we put on the agenda for the board meeting to build in high school?
Let's just throw it on there.
I approve.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be there daily.
But yes, those conversations,
We
yes,
say this, and the board members that knew that that was in our work plan 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So you see where we are now with it,
yeah,
we did ask.
yeah.
Was met with a resounding no.
Well, but those, again, I agree, I understand exactly what she's saying, and we're all
Absolutely.
probably in the same spot. We've got to start those conversations now, because those conversations take a long time, and progress isn't quick, it's slow, and when you wait to the point that you need something, you've waited too late, and that, I think that's exactly kind of where you're at, and I agree with that. Yeah.
No.
Oh, come on, Derek.
Good to see everybody. Appreciate everybody coming out. I thought you guys were gonna get a break once school let out, but evidently not, because this seemed to last longer than all the other meetings. So I appreciate you guys continuing that hard work, and I don't know. I hope you can have a break this summer. Good to see you, Chief.